Hello everyone. Welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial by Slide School. In this part, we are creating taxi rides analysis dashboard, and in this tutorial you will learn how to create a dashboard like this. The main highlights of this tutorial is we are using images as a filter. So for example, if you will select this is prime play type of ride, and on the basis of this you will be able to see how the data is getting filtered. So here the filter that we are using is with the help of a table visual, and there is another type of dashboard that we have created. This is more of a simple dashboard, but here we are using the image slicers. So here this is a slicer, and when you will select you will see the data will change. So you will learn the difference between these two slices, and now as per your choice you can select any one of them. So what is data, what type of variables are there, how are the variables interrelated, everything will be discussed in the video. So let's get started. So here is the Ola tips data set that we got from kaggle.com from this particular URL. So I will explain you what this data set contains. In this data set you can see for every ride we have booking ID. The booking date and time is originally given in this format. So this is a serial number format. So the value, for example, 43249.91944 in Excel is a serial number that represents a date and time. Excel stores data as sequential serial numbers starting from January 1, 1900, and times a fractional part of a day. To convert this to a proper value, first understand the value and then write steps format. So what you have to do, just copy the dataset or right click here, go to format cells and go to custom and write a custom formatting. So here we use DDMMYY this formatting because it's date time. And for time of the day, we have simply converted using the custom format, which is HHMMSS. Okay, so we are using the date, month, and year format. So now for every booking, we have booking date, time, new. Okay, so we are going to use booking date, time, new, and time of the day, new, these columns. Now the gender of person who booked the ride, month in which the person was traveling, day of the week, time of the day, everything is given, and that is something that we can calculate from the date time given. So all these columns, like this column, this this column, everything can be a calculated value. Now the important thing is the distance traveled. So time taken is in minutes, how many minutes were taken to complete the ride, and what was the reason, like office to home, late night, office from, and these are the different reasons. So this appears to be a sample data set which is saved as Ola Trips dataset. You can consider it as a simple taxi booking dataset also. And in every ride, what is the toll amount, what is the category of that particular car or vehicle that was booked, and here is the commission base cost, driver base cost, total tax applicable, total trip cost, and rating. So as you can see here, there are a lot of categorical variables that we can use here. And now we will simply open Power BI and connect this data and start analyzing it. Now in the data set, for better understanding, the data dictionary is also given where you can simply understand what each variable means. Rating is also given out of 5, it seems. Yes. So we can calculate average rating per ride. Those type of things can also be done. So now using Power BI, we will just load the data, check if we have to modify anything. No, it's good. Let's load it. So it is simply applying data, and we have total 4950 rows. So let's bring some KPIs or simple cards here. So we will simply use this card, and in our previous tutorial we created some time in styling them. So I'll simply copy the card from my another tutorial which is available on the channel itself. So I will simply paste it here, and obviously the field will be missing. So here I am going to count the number of bookings. So here we will rename it as number of bookings. Okay, and I will make it smaller here because here we have to put more values. The data set was smaller, but here we have more variables. And in the category label, let's reduce its size, and here we are going to call it, instead of count of booking, number of bookings. Next we will use the total trip cost to bring total revenue. Okay, so here instead of number of bookings we will use the sum function, and this will give us total trip cost. So here we have calculated total revenue. So here suppose you want to apply some different background, so you can go to the view tab and you can go to customize current theme, and here in your visuals you will have background, border, header, etc. So let's say background, and we'll select some background like this, and let's try to apply. Okay, so now our cards are properly visible. Okay, similarly if you don't want to apply on visuals but you want to apply on page, so you can select some color. So let's try to select hashtag F8 F8 F8, this color. Okay, now let's try to apply it. So now you have this, and this is the total revenue and number of bookings that we have created. Now similarly we will also create another card here, and this card will represent the average rating given per ride. Obviously when we will use other filters, this is something that is going to help us in understanding whether the rating changes on the selection of different type of categorical variables here. Like for example, if the categorical category of vehicle is mini, is the average rating higher or lower as compared to prime rentals, or if they don't have any significance. Okay, so here we will take rating. So this is the rating, which is a number. Instead of sum, here we will use average. So you can see here we used count aggregate, here we used sum aggregate, and here we are using average. Okay, so we will simply rename this to average rating. Okay, now you have these three visuals. Now we also have some monetary values like total trip cost that we used. We also have total tax and toll. Okay, toll tax it will be. So, and driver base cost. So let's assume that also. What is the total value of toll? Okay, this is sum of toll, total toll. And finally, we will also try to calculate driver's earning. So here we will use drive. So we can use driver base cost or commission base cost. So let's use the driver base cost here. and it is given like this 971.00k. So we can go and in call out value we can decide one decimal place. We can also omit the decimal place, but this is okay. So now our simple cards are created. Now let's proceed further. Next is let's try to find out bookings per month. For this we will use a stacked column chart. The width of this chart we will put equal to 2 times the width of our card, and height we will adjust according to the data that we are getting. So here we have x-axis and y-axis. So on x-axis, from the time of the day new date hierarchy, we will choose month. Okay, and on the y-axis, either we can choose total number of bookings or total revenue. So here we are going to use total number of bookings. Okay, and another mistake that we have made is instead of time of the day new, we have the booking date time, because in time we don't have month value. Now it is okay. So this is count of booking ID per month, and we can simply rename it to bookings per month. So this we have, we'll go to chart, general tab, title, we will align it to center, make it bold, and choose a text color as per our theme color, so that we have this. What we are going to do next is we'll go to effects, as just enable shadow. So because we don't have the border enabled, so for example if we had a visual border, so we can use the rounded corners for that. So I usually prefer 12 pixels. Okay, so this is something that you can do, like bookings per month. And from this data we can say that June is the month with most number of bookings here, and April the month with least number of bookings. Another interesting thing to visualize here will be, obviously this is month wise data, but on what days people prefer booking a cab more, like on weekends or weekdays, like suppose they are going to office or whatever they are doing. So we will try to uh, create another graph here, and here we are just going to replace month here, and from day we will select day of the week. Okay, so here we have day, just a minute. So we already have this column which is day of the week, and its format is just text here. So what we can do, we can go to transform data, and in transform data we will use month, day of the week. Let's select, right click here, and let's try to change the type to, or let's keep it as day of the week, because we just want to analyze accordingly. So instead of date we will select day of the week. So sometimes while exploring or exploratory analysis these type of things happen. So we find out that that data is already given, there is no need to do any type of conversion. So here you can see, so from the data we can see that Thursday is the month with Thursday is the day with most number of bookings, and May, June is the month with most number of booking. Then there is Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday, and you can see on Saturdays and particularly on Sundays there are least number of bookings, which means that most of these people are using these rides for office purpose mainly, or for visiting office or going to office. And that's why we have a column which is called reason. In reason we have airport station ride, customer partner, NA, or other values are also there. So now we will find out what is the reason why they are booking most number of these bookings. So for this, because the data has many values, so what we can do, uh, again we I'm going to copy this and let's see. Here we can use a bar chart, or we can also use a column chart for this. So I will copy this as per the height. First, I will fill the data and then I will see whether it fits properly or not. Here, what I am going to do, I will just drag reason here. Okay, and reason is pretty clear, that office to or from home. Okay, so this is the main reason why people have booked these cabs. And the second reason is late night ride. Obviously this data is a older data, so whatever assumptions we are making is as per the data. But at that time when the data was collected, at that time the main reason for booking cabs was uh, from going to office from home, or from home to office. We also have time of the day. Okay, so let's try to create a simple area chart here, and we'll see if it will fit or not, otherwise we will change it. So this is area chart. In x-axis we will definitely put time of the day. Okay, and on y-axis we will put booking count. Okay, count is ticked. And to fix, because graph is not looking properly, so I will go to the format for time of the day new, and here it is written like this. What if we select short time? Okay, and go there. So instead of this, let's try now. So after trying several things, I was able to get it. Here I can see the time of the day, like 21:39. Okay, uh, that is 9:40, you can say around 9:40. So this is the time when most of the bookings are done, and the other peak is late night at around 12:38 a.m. So how we did this, I went to transform tab, and in transform tab the column that we had as time of the day new, I simply change it type to only time, not date time, only time, because our purpose of this analysis was to check in the entire day what are the peak times. Okay, and as per this data, obviously this data would change in future, but as per this data we can say time between 9 to 10 p.m. is kind of the peak time for people booking a cab in this data. And as we did for earlier other graphs, we will simply enable shadow here, and a visual border, and a graph of 12 and a radius of 12 pixel, and here title is bookings by time of the day. In this particular field we have much space, so we'll just use this, make it bold, align it to center. So this is bookings by time of the day. So now uh, as a business we can analyze which is the month for which most number of bookings were done, what is the day, what is the time. On the basis of that you can manage your, or you can manage the supply of your rides, and particularly drivers also. I will just save it as dashboard for now. And so sorry about the noise coming from behind. Now in our data, we have an important categorical variable to analyze, that is gender. And like were more bookings done by male or female. So on the basis of this data, we'll be able to analyze. We'll use a donut chart here simply, and I will adjust its height and width after we put some data here. So here in legend, you always drag your categorical variable. It will create uh, the legends for you, which we are going to adjust later, and we are counting booking ID. Okay, so count distinct booking ID, and this is count of booking ID by gender. So we will simply go to this and change the title first, bookings by gender, and align it to center. Use the color that we have used so far. Okay, and here in your visual, legend is something that you can choose like bottom right. Okay, so that we can see the values also. And legend title I will not use because it is self-explanatory. You can see from here that we can anytime zoom it to analyze. 46.59% of these rides were booked by male, and slightly over that 53.41 by female. So as per this data, more rides were booked by female passengers, and here also in effect the same thing that we have been doing so far. We can easily copy the style of other graph, but we are just doing it here. And because everything here is interactive, for example, if we'll click here, you can see when you will select female candidate, their time is 21:23 peak time, and for male also it is same, but here you can see more late night rides are also there. Totally depends. So this is a simple booking by gender. Let's see what more can we put here to visualize this and get more meaningful insights. We can also try to find average rating by gender. So for example, I will just copy it and copy its height. We can also use the format painter, but let's simply do it like this. And this is bookings by gender. Here what we are going to do, let's say whether male give higher rating or females give higher rating, or will it not make any difference. So in values we will bring average rating, so not sum of rating but average rating. So here obviously 3.72 and 3.75, not much of difference, so this is something we can ignore for now, but it will be good. And let's select whether late night ride. In late night ride you can see female are giving 3.81 higher rating than male, and in late night rides uh, also out of booking ID is 53.41, but here it is 8.7. Okay, and for male it is 7.9. So obviously you can see total revenue also mostly in case of office going people, and gender wise you can see total because the data is almost equally distributed for booking, so that's why this is not making too much of difference, but obviously in actual business analysis this will be a big factor to consider. So now we are trying to use and show some images as filter. For that we have created a simple data set here. We have written type, that is micro, prime play, prime rental or prime, and we have created these images. These images are uploaded on this post img website, from where you can get a direct link of the image. These are just sample images that we are trying to use as a filter. Now here, using get data, we will connect this Excel file, and here, after connecting the Excel file, it was not showing the columns properly, so I use the first row as header, and now you can see type an image here. Simply close and apply for now, and now your file with images will be created. This is called sheet, so we will simply rename the table as cars or whatever you want. Okay, now there is one more important thing that you have to do. In Power BI, go to table view, there select your new table. I will provide this table to you. You can use your own images, host it on any website. So again, this is just for demonstration purpose. We have used some sample images, so you can use any image here. The main thing that you have to do in your image tool, the data category should be image URL. Okay, when you will tell Power BI that this is a image URL, so obviously it will be able to show these images in different type of visuals. For example, let's drag a table visual here. In table visual, if we will drag the image column, so you will see we now have these images. Okay, so these images are there, and the next thing that we have to do is we will go to visual, and we can increase or decrease the image size. So let's increase the image size. I will make it 200 pixel. 200 pixels seems okay to me. I will use them here. So we can use them in sidebar. So these are the images. Okay. In image, obviously, in here there are going to be various changes, and here in the grid you can see width or color, vertical grid lines you can enable or disable. Style presets is you can choose minimal style preset. Okay, and here what we have done, on what basis have we done this? Because in the data, if you will see, there is category of vehicles. Okay, which is micro, mini rental, play, prime, sedan, SUV. So we will just demonstrate it using four of them, and later values can be demonstrated uh, after this. So you can create images for all of them like Lux, Micro, Mini, SUV rentals, etc. So we have just used four of them. So here we have the cars. Now if we select, you can see nothing is happening. Nothing is happening because we have not related this type of vehicle with this table. For that, we will go to the model view. In model view, we will manage relationship. In relationship, we'll create new relationship. So here in the cars table, we have type. Currently, it has micro, prime play, prime rental, this type of values. So in our data, we have four values, but you can add other values and other images accordingly. And in the data, we will tell that this is same as this category, because we want to use filter. So this is one to many relationship. Okay, and cross filter direction is single. Let's click OK and close. Now you can see the relationship between the type and category is created. Let's click on this. Now you will see on the basis of these values we will be able to filter the data. Okay, so this is a simple example of using images as a filter. So now we will simply change it to ride type. Okay, and as we have done for others, like enable the effect, visual border and everything, and in the title, so let's enable the title, right type, and make it bold. Okay, obviously this is the column name, so the column name, let's keep blank. If you want, you can name it anything. What will happen now? Suppose we select this. So on the basis of our right type, the value will be changed. Okay. And if you suppose you want to show also, so what we can do in here somewhere, we can bring the right type in a card visual also. So like for example, I have just copied it here. So here I will disable the title in, like we have used the visual, we'll rename it to nothing, and here obviously category label we can disable, and in fields we will simply bring type. So for example, the category micro is selected, prime is selected, blank. So for some reason this is not working, I will check. Prime play is selected, and just to debug, if I will simply select, it here, this is prime play, micro, and prime. So prime is seems to be prime rental. So here the column that we are going to use is actually the type from the image field itself. This is prime rental. Let's see why it's not working. Because the name here is prime play rentals or prime rentals. We are missing an S. That's why the name cannot match. So here it is given as prime rentals. Okay. So what we are going to do, we will simply right click here and rename this as, oh sorry, we just will go to transform data, and there we actually have to replace this value here. So right click, replace values. Values to find will be prime rental, and we'll replace it with prime rentals. Okay, close and apply. After closing and applying, now we will see. So when this is connected, yeah, now it's perfect. So we will get rid of this. Obviously, here we can keep this so that when someone is browsing, that person can get information of, okay, prime play. Here in prime rentals, you can see more 53% of mail have booked it, but in case of prime play, you can see 48% is there. So obviously revenue on the basis of right type can be done here. So this is one simple example. Now obviously there are a lot of things that can be done here. For example, let's take another example here, and here we will create a slicer. Okay, in the slicer we will use the image field. So here also you can see, based on your selection, the image fields are visible. Obviously blank values are also visible because as I said, I have created only 4 images for demonstration purpose, but you have to create all these images. For example, whatever different options are available, like prime play, prime rentals, you know mini rentals. So for every car type, you have to put some image. So I'm just showing you a use of this. Here also we can select, and on the basis of this, we can, you know, use the image slider. Here we have slicer setting, which is a vertical list. It can be a tile, okay. It can be a drop down. It can be anything. For example, if you go to drop down, it will show you the data like this. So here in the settings, suppose you select the slicer as a tile, okay, and when you will select as a tile, now let's reposition this. So I'll make it full width and I'll just reduce its size, okay. So here we have the values, and definitely I'm going to increase the value size here, okay. So, and you can also go to slices settings, and for selection you can show something like select all, okay. Everything will be selected. So this is something that you can uh, use. So you can also create a, filter like this also. You can choose what type of border color do you want, okay. Select all, select none, it can be there. And just to show the demo, the images that we used here have white background, but you can use transparent background images, and those transparent background images create a good effect, so you, when you will select, you will get a better effect while using a transparent background image. So now obviously image is written here, so we will simply rename for this visual. So here we can simply go and go to title, turn it off, and write ride type, and align to center, make it bold, okay. So you can select this here and sync the visuals. For example, if we'll select this, okay, on the basis of our selection, we'll be able to see the data. So it's your choice whether you want this type of selection or you want this type of selection, okay. So that's why I'm just going to make a copy of this. So this is dashboard idea 2, and in both cases we can use any of them. Obviously you can use your creativity also. For now I am going to remove it, and here it is working, you can see, okay. And here we will remove this one. So for example, if I have to select this, you can see that data is working. Now we are also going to bring one more line chart here, because we can show revenue. So we'll just use it like this. Here on the x-axis we will take booking date and time. So we will select this, and on the y-axis we will choose total trip cost, okay. And here it is, obviously as it happened earlier, it is showing us only for 1 year. So what we are going to do here is we will use these icons and drill down by other values, okay. For example, now it is showing us monthly. I will simply change the title like monthly revenue and align it to center, change color to this, make it bold. We can also do other things like do spacing and reduce the spacing between the graphs. So that is something that you can do. And for effects, let's say I want to apply this, so I will click here, format painter, and simply apply there. Now here what we can do, we can drill the data also. Like these drilled icons will be available for you to drill the data. So we will keep default as monthly revenue because that is the title. But if you will drill, you will see this is day wise. Okay, so you can see anything here. That's the advantage of using a simple line chart. And you can see starting from January, in June, uh, company gets most revenue. So when as per Indian temperature, when temperature starts to rise, you can see revenue also is rising. So, and obviously we can relate it with other different type of factors. I have just adjusted some heights here. So I've adjusted the height of this particular sidebar, and here I have just added a text box. In the text box I'm going to select again the color as we have selected, and here also I'm going to use effects, or let's try. So just a minute, select from here and apply here. So now our dashboard is also created. So here you can see now it's working. This is a very simple example of using taxi rides data, and on the basis of taxi rides data creating a dashboard where we can gain different type of insights on uh, what type of data, like suppose what is the role of gender here, what is the influence of gender on our in on the total revenue or total number of bookings, what role does month play, what role does month by day of week play, booking by day of week play. So all these things can be calculated. We also have a second dashboard here. So here we can simply copy the text. So let me just copy it from here. Here we have different position for it. Here we will use it in the sidebar, and so that we can create. And obviously here we have a space, so we can simply bring our type of car selection here, and we can increase the width and height accordingly. So, and obviously this space can be used for bringing the navigation bars, so which we can bring easily. So I'll just increase the height and keep gaps here. So we have these two examples. Whatever you prefer, you can keep and use different type of examples for other purpose. And here we can also bring category in the legend, and based on category we can bring revenue, so like total trip cost. So here we have that data, and obviously we can, let's select this format painter, apply it here. Okay, so it will automatically apply that. We'll just go and change the title. So revenue by ride type, and you will see on the basis of your selection this will change. So this is a simple graph. So I hope you understood the concept like this video. If you did, please subscribe to our channel so that You can get more videos like this, more tips like this, and whenever we'll upload a video, you will get notifications. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.